Hello. Have you heard about the recent rise in inflation rates around the world? It's an interesting topic to discuss. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be interesting to talk about inflation rates, and especially if it's related to the international business.
Yes, inflation affects international business in many ways. Companies might change prices or strategies because of it. How do you think it impacts consumers?
Primarily, it increases all the products that we buy, and for example, like a food, and also the manufacturing, the products, and also at the same time, many agricultural, products. And so I think, it all affects everything that we buy and we can consume, in our daily life.
Exactly. Higher prices can make it hard for families to afford essentials. Do you think governments should step in to help reduce inflation?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very tricky one, and but also at the same time, so in this kind of situation, government should play their role. By like reducing the inflation rate, but I think depending on the country's, the economy, and also at the same time their the finance. In the government, the budget, and so they should be very considerate in deciding their any policies.
You make a good point. Policies must fit each country's economic situation. What specific policies do you think could help control inflation?
I'm not particularly keen on the psychology. But also at the same time, all the economy should be affected by the people's mentality, especially the in stock market. So if you can just invest, some money in your, money in the stock market, and so the people think that the economy goes like up, and so they think they might should, they invest the money in the stock market. So I guess it's kind of, very tricky one, but also at the same time, so you need to make some the consolidate the policies for people. In their own country, on the government level, and to make the market stable, and so thereby the people can do their job. That basically, they can make their decision in a more stable condition, psychologically. So somehow, make their the their decisions predictable.
You are right. People's confidence affects their investment decisions. Stability can encourage more investments. How do you think governments can boost public confidence in the economy?
So I think every government should be very organized in terms of like making their policies. They should make a plan in advance, and they should also announce every plan in detail. To their people, and so you need like a transparency in your, making your policy, and also at the same time, do not do any, unstable, the behavior, like making, the war, situation, and also the at the same time, and you kind of, make the political instability. So those kind of things can make the economy unstable, and so you need to prevent those kind of uncertainties in your policy making.
Great insights. Transparency and stability are crucial for building trust. What role do you think international cooperation plays in managing inflation globally?
So I think you need a kind of the sound diplomatic, the relations between the countries. And so, as I told you earlier, when you make your policy, in your own country, also you need to be more stable, and in terms of like making plans, and also at the same time in the international arena. And also it's the same wise, and you can make up any plan and any diplomatic relations with certain countries in more predictable ways. And so the policy sorry the diplomatic the skills, I mean strategy, can be very important. So in terms of the government relationship. And so when you make a kind of new business relationship with a certain country, and you need to be more practical, and also you need to be more reasonable, and approaching in many ways, I mean to develop a new the profitable the relations.
Absolutely. Strong diplomatic relations can create a stable environment for trade. How do you think trade agreements influence inflation rates between countries?
I guess I mean these days everything is uncertain in terms of I mean in terms of the business agreements, and sometimes people's can break their promise. I mean in the same way, international business, and when you do the international business, it can be also happening. And so you need to be kind of very trustworthy and international politics. And so when you make certain trade agreements between each countries, and you need to be more the trustworthy, and also at the same time you kind of keep your words. And so you kind of give the people, I mean the trust that you are going to keep your promise. And so for example, like these days the America actually break a lot of promises, I mean in terms of the agreements. I mean it's like climate change. There are some agreements between each countries. And so the President Donald Trump actually try to kind of make his own way, and sometimes the making his own rule, and by forcing and other people. And so I think it's not going to be a good way, I mean to make kind of the trustworthy relations.
You raised an important issue about trust in international agreements. When countries break promises, it affects future relations. How can countries rebuild trust after such incidents?
So it's not gonna be easy one. I mean, when you first break your promise in the first place, and so the people do not anymore trust your, I mean your position. And so the basically, and you need to be concrete, and so you need to be also very transparent. And so every time when you make a promise, and when you make agreements, and so you need to be very considerate. And so, and then after that, and don't break any rules and any promises and anymore. And so in the first place, and not, I mean breaking the your promises can be very important. Public opinion can greatly affect decisions.
Yes, public opinion can greatly affect decisions.
Yes, yes, public opinion can greatly affect decisions.
Indeed. Governments often respond to what their citizens think. How do you think social media impacts public opinion on these issues?
So these days, the people, I mean, almost everyone use their social media, the channels, and to express their opinions. And so if it's related to the political, things, and it can be very important. I mean, for people, I mean, especially the government officials, to listen to the people's, opinion. And so I think, I mean, so when you make raise any issues, I mean on social media, and so that actually can be sometimes very important. So I think you need to be very also wise, and to kind of make a public opinion. And so by actually giving the positive, uh, the positive, you need to be kind of, very considerate and about the people's, public attitude and public opinion.
You made a great point. Social media can amplify voices and influence change. Do you think there are risks involved with how social media shapes public opinion?
Yes, that can be also very worrisome. So sometimes, some people actually make up force and opinions, and I mean, in other words, they kind of try to use their social media channels to make the force, you know, I mean, it's not a kind. I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, sometimes it's not a fact, but they kind of make a public opinion, and so they kind of the falsify as people, and by using the false information. So I think you need to be also very careful when you read some opinions from the social media, and sometimes it's not true, and so they just, they're widespread on the social media, and so the people think they kind of might be true, and so so that's why, and so you need to double check and whether it's gonna be, the true or not.
Absolutely. Misinformation can lead to confusion and poor decisions. What strategies do you think people should use to verify information they see online?
So I think it's not easy to, make the right decision when you see, after you see all this information from the social media, because it looks like, I mean, the sometimes the misinformation can be, very seemingly is like a very true, and so you need to, and that's why I just told you, like, you need to double check. I mean, after you read the one article in the news media, I mean, in the social media, and you need to double check. I mean, you need to find another related, articles, and so fact, it's called like a fact checking, and so, and then after that you make a final decision. So I mean, so as much as you want, and you need to read, I mean, all these the similar type of the news articles from the many different sources.
That's a solid approach. Fact checking helps people make informed decisions. What role do you think education plays in teaching people how to evaluate information?
So education is very important in terms of like teaching your, I mean, the kids, and so especially younger generations should need like a more should be more informative about the social media, the impacts, and also at the same time, so they need to like be educated, and in terms of like making decisions, and also they need to have like if it's possible, and like a chance to discuss offline, I mean, like in a like a more official, the meeting, I mean, the so which actually can give you the more deep insight about each issue, rather, I mean, so sometimes you need to find some information from the books, and which are more trustworthy, and so that actually can make, I think, I mean, the younger generation can, more considerate and more, the careful about choosing any, the information and they would like.
You're absolutely right. Teaching critical thinking and media literacy is essential for youth. How do you think schools can implement these lessons effectively?
Mm, so I mean, you made it kind of, 2 points, and the first one is critical thinking, and the other one is media literacy. And so I think if you want to have like critical thinking, and you need to read a lot, and also you need to talk a lot, I mean discuss a lot. And so by having those kind of activities, and maybe you can develop, I mean, your skills, your how to think, and how to be more the wise. So also at the same time, and so you need to give them an information about, I mean, the bad side about the social media. And so, and for example, like not every, I mean, the information in the social media can be true. And so I mean, you need to give them a warning sign. And so if you uh, find that some, the younger generations are kind of, they are very vulnerable, I mean, the basically to many the informations what I mean out there. And so give them some other insight, and I mean give them other information from different sources. And so they can make, I mean, the the peop them to actually think in a different way. And so I think thereby, and so you can develop a little more the skills. I mean, so when you read some articles and some information.
Those are excellent strategies. Encouraging discussions and providing diverse sources can build awareness. Do you think parents should also play a role in teaching these skills at home?
Yeah, sure. And so I think the parents' role is very important, because the teachers cannot actually affect all those the childrens in their school. And so when they just get home, and so you need to actually have a lot of the conversation and with your children and about any issues. And so if you just have chance to giving them any insight about the social media and also social issues. And so maybe just open, you need to open, I mean, you need to be very like